Welcome to the Time is Right podcast. Time is Ripe is a digital journal podcast of Ripe Creatives. Ripe Creatives is a ministry that leverages the arts for the purpose of missions here in Philadelphia and around our region. Time is Ripe is hosted by Ripe Creatives founder Scott Smith and features various guests from within the Ripe community and our extended family. Each episode focuses on a specific experience that our team hosted here in the city or an outside event where someone from our team was booked to perform. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Y'all might have lost your way, but I'm still out here living my purpose. Know that I'm the best to do it when I'm living the service. Once you see light, you understand that sin is whack.
What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Time is Right podcast. My name is Scott Smith. I am your host here on this amazing podcast called The Time is Ripe. Today, we have a really fun episode. We are going back in time to a Tuesday evening, October 7th, 2025, to a faraway land called Messiah University, formerly known as Messiah College. I guess they upgraded. We got a chance to do a chapel at Messiah. This was our first time as Ripe Creatives partnering with the university over there. It was an amazing experience. A whole bunch of stuff that kind of led up to this. And to break this whole story down, I got a couple of guests that are a part of this Ripe community with me. They are both returners. They have both been on, I don't even know, probably a dozen episodes at this point. They're two of the most common voices here on the podcast outside of our co-host, Jared Moses, who's not on today's episode. Shout out to Top Mod Productions. Guest number one, I'll just go from right to left as I'm looking at him across from me. Greg Snow, welcome back to the pod.
Great to be here, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure having Greg Snow. Greg Snow is the founder of Two Lines Philly. He's also a Ripe poet, and he was functioning in the Ripe Poetry squad on this particular date. Next to him, also a Ripe poet, also a part of Two Lines Philly, and he does all the things. He's the dreamer in a lot of ways of our group. Welcome back to the pod, AVG.
What's good, y'all? Glad to be here.
Yeah, there he is. Gabriel Angrand. I had a story post on my Instagram, I don't know, a couple months ago, before recording this podcast, where I was like, and this is what happens. AVG, one conversation with him ends up costing me so much time. Not in the actual conversation. That's one thing. I love long conversations where we think about things. AVG has conversations with you where that conversation that becomes something that you actually do. And you're like,
syllabus.
Yeah,
done.
Oh my God.
Here's the syllabus of our conversation.
And honestly, this one's kind of part of that. So backstory, like AVG, you work in higher ed.
I do, yeah. I've been doing maybe 7-8 years in the learning center space, tutoring and coaching and whatnot. I'm at Haverford College now, managing peer tutors.
Yep, just outside of the city of Philadelphia, Haverford College. So AVG is a spoken word poet, phenomenal one at that. And then you work in higher ed, and you've kind of always been trying to infuse poetry in higher ed. And most of the poetry places that we perform are poetry places, or like Christian events where we get booked to be Christian poets in that particular space. Yeah. But we've been trying to figure out, okay, what would it look like for us to like perform in higher ed? And Messiah, Cairn University, Eastern University, Lancaster Bible College, like those would probably represent the four that are closest to us.
For sure.
That like makes sense for us to try to partner with. And so Messiah has been a place that we wanted to get Ripe involved in for a while, but we didn't really have much of a way in, even though some of the people in our crew are alumni. Shout out to Mallory Nazario, wife of Abel, who's one of the Ripe artists. She's also been a part of Ripe Worship. She's been a part of our Creatives Philly team. She went to Messiah. And then Esteban and Priscilla Nieves are both Messiah alumni. That's actually where they met and ended up getting married, and now they just had a baby. Mm-hmm. And so Esty and Pri helped lead the Ripe Worship team. So we thought, oh, the alumni, part of Ripe Worship, let's try to get Ripe Worship involved in Messiah. And that didn't end up panning out because Esty and Pri just had a baby this fall in the month of October, actually. Yeah. And so October ended up kind of getting knocked down the list to us, the Ripe poets. But it's crazy because even with the alumni connections, we didn't really have a way in to the university until I saw on Facebook my good friend Antonio Morton, who I've known for 15, 20 years now, probably 15 years. I've known him since he was in college at Shippensburg University. And it said started a new job at Messiah University as basically a pastoral care person on campus, like a director of campus ministry type role. And I was like, oh my gosh, Antonio's a Messiah? And I just DM'd him. And I was like, Antonio, congrats on the new job. We haven't spoken in a couple years. I have always wanted to figure out how to get Ripe connected to Messiah. And he was like, bro, we got this. Like, we're going to get this done. And that's literally what happened. Like Antonio started in January. I think we were probably having that conversation within a few weeks of him starting.
My goodness.
And then October 7th was like set within a couple months.
Wow. Yeah.
And all the details were getting finalized. So shout out to Tony Morton, because without him, this doesn't happen.
Antonio,
He's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Shout out Facebook.
Okay, so like, do you have like Ripe Worship connections through some of the alumni that like went to Messiah, who are part of Ripe Worship? What was the connection to like still trying to figure out who from Ripe was going to end up getting to Messiah?
Yeah, so I mean, we had talked about Ripe Worship doing like a chapel, probably like a morning chapel or an evening chapel, just coming in leading worship.
Yeah.
And then going to Ripe Worship and saying, hey, we have a chance to get you into Messiah. This is what it would look like. And Esty and Pri were like, we're cooked. Like, we're having a baby. Yeah. I think that's when he told me.
Oh, snap.
Because he was like, I don't want you to not know why. I think that's actually when I found out that Esty and Pri were having a baby. I was probably very early to hear that information, because that would have been as early as January, February, March. Right? Like very early, like right after they must have found out.
Sure,
and they were like, look, thank you for like advocating for us, but we can't do that. And I was like, well, we're not going to do that if you're not going, because the whole thing is built around you. So then I went back to Messiah and was like, hey, just kidding. The Ripe Worship thing's not going to work for these reasons. And then I just kind of pitched like, we have hip hop artists. We have singers. We have poets. We could, do some like a good soil kind of thing, like a Ripe takeover we did at Penn State Abington. And I said, or we can bring like any of these genre specific things and kind of like talking through budget lines of different things. And, if we need to bring in production, it would look like this. If we don't, it would look like this. Yeah. And they're like, oh, poetry, spoken word. Like that could be really cool. We've never really done that before. What would that look like? And I was like, well, we have 6 poets on our team. I'd imagine we could probably bring 3 or 4 of them out, and we could do this whole thing. I went back to you guys, and 5 of you were like, let's go. 6 of you wanted to go. Jake wanted to go. And we were like, Jake, that's too many.
Thank you, Jake, for sacrificing.
He also works a 9 to 5 in a way that's a little bit different than all of us. So he didn't have the flexibility to go anyway, but 5 of us decided to go do it. And then from there, it was just like 50, 60 emails of like, communication around details, around their chapel standards, right? Like their code of conduct, what kinds of things you're allowed to talk about. And mainly that's for speaker, preacher, chapel people. But we were going to be doing something really out of the box for them. So, I mean, they were just excited about poetry. Like they apparently hadn't done a whole lot with it. Finding out that was a part of what we had to offer, they're like, let's choose that one. I kind of gave them a smorgasbord, and they picked poetry.
For sure.
Yeah, I just want to say, Scott, like, we probably maybe have said this in other episodes, but like your ability to just hustle in terms of emails, in terms of keeping on the pulse of things. Like things would drop if Scott is not emailing these folks again and again and again. And I think sometimes, I don't even think I, till this day, till right now, knew that number. It was that great for even this event. So I just want to thank you for not just getting us into opportunities where it's like one day, hey, there's an opportunity, and the next way we do it. No, it's really like there's a whole long, arduous sometimes process of, you want to figure out the right details where everybody, is comfortable and everybody is just can make those details make an experience like we had at Messiah really happen well. So thank you to the Messiah folks. Thank you to Scott for being able to work that out together really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this one was probably longer than most because they are so on point.
Yeah.
Messiah's communication is just unbelievable. And they literally, like, when you get booked to present at Messiah, you're in front of like 5 or 6 different emails. People all asking for different pieces of information because they are over one particular aspect of the process.
I see.
Whereas most times when you're going through a booking, you're really just talking to one particular party. Whereas they're like, hey, I'm looping in Natalie who handles payments, right? And I'm handling this person who needs your direct deposit information to be able to execute that payment. Hey, I'm looping in this person that's going to talk to you about what time you need to arrive and what meals are going to look like. And it's like, oh, wow, like their ducks are really in a row around the chapel department in Messiah. It is something that they take extremely seriously, and they just are professional communicators. So
I mean, that's a real credit to Messiah's team. Cause
seriously,
you get 5-6 people on a thread, and you don't know if it's gonna happen at that point.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they were honestly like all jumping in to different parts of the conversation pretty seamless.
That's what's up.
I was a little confused. I was like, wait, is this the same person as before? And I go back and look at the name. I was like, nah, this is somebody totally different.
No,
But, you know, they have a system that really works for them. And I would imagine, I mean, it makes sense because if one person was handling the level of communication that they had with me with 100 other chapel presenters over the course of the year. That's you would, I mean, you would burn out. Like there's just no way you wouldn't do anything else. But that email chain. So it makes sense that they found their division of labor. So shout out to you, Messiah. We loved it. You guys are amazing. All the upfront communication I thought was really, really cool. And I think one of the things that I love about the way we do these bookings is the set planning, like on our end, outside of Messiah communication. We've done this. We started doing this on the tour, Pass the Mic. We did 3 episodes about Pass the Mic a couple seasons ago. It was amazing. We also did this whenever we went to Texas together. But this was the next time we got to do this was this Messiah show, where we designed the entire set to not be, okay, who's going first, 15 minutes, and then who's going second, they do 15 minutes. Who's going third, they do 10 minutes. Who's going fourth, they do 15. We designed the set to be overlapping, and I've said this every time we talk about this. I think it is the coolest way to do a spoken word set.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Because we all are so different. Our voices are different. The way we write is different. The way we perform is different. That every 3 to 5 minutes, you're getting a totally different experience than you just had 3 to 5 minutes before. And it really, it plays off of each other so well. And then we design the set to thematically make sense to the listener. So,
and I mean, I would say, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but any opportunity, we haven't done the same set again.
No,
it's always been unique.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we haven't designed one set. We've designed probably 10 of these things at this point.
Absolutely. Yeah, our sets have been really awesome. It feels like in this generation of kind of scrolling and clicking and trying to keep people's attention, especially talking about college students, it really helps to have something where you're just switching up and you're just keeping things fresh, keeping things new, and also it's like, you know, jokingly a little bit like, oh, if I didn't like this person, well, you only got to deal with them for 2 more minutes because then the next person's coming up, right? Like, or if something really connected with you, then you'll get that. And then the next thing, it might not connect with you, but it's probably going to connect to the person next to you because, like, we're not I don't know if we said this, but we're not dealing with one theme. We're working out usually 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 themes throughout an entire 35 to 45 minute set. So we're kind of, and even in those themes, there's like sub themes, and there's wordplay poems, there's like mental health poems, there's poems that are really quick, and there's poems that are like longer and make you think and make you process. Like, there's just a lot going on. And I think we do a good job of both keeping the pace and also knowing when to, like, okay, we're like, Scott will say, okay, get up there and like slow it down for a second, or let's take a breath, or let's take a break, and allowing the audience to kind of catch up, and then we just go right back into it.
It's been fun. It's been fun. It's one of my favorite things of the process is like dreaming up, oh, wait, you have this poem. What about this poem? Yeah. Or like each of us kind of saying, I know I want to do these poems. Okay, how do we put this puzzle together? Yeah. And it's just fun because we know each other's work well enough to where we can like speak to like, oh, what if you do this, then I could do this right after. But how does that bleed into the next one? And kind of having like little, arguments about it. Yeah. And AVG trying to change everything
all the time.
I was just about to say that. Probably what was like the day before, like, yo, I got a new set order.
We're like, no, you don't.
Nope, we're good.
This is what we spent an hour on the phone doing. We're not changing it now. Yeah. Shout out to Sergine. She didn't change any of her poems this time. That's usually our beloved sister. But yeah, let's get into the actual day of the event. It was Tuesday, October 7th. We all kind of came at different times. Yeah. Greg, you were the early arriver. You were the early bird gets the worm guy. Because you went up actually the night before to see your family.
Yep.
And then you were there first thing in the morning for not the evening chapel, but the morning chapel to kick things off.
Yeah, absolutely. Thankful for my family, felt like I was getting ready for my first day of school. Mom sent me out the door. Hey, let's go. You're going to go perform at chapel today. So thank you, Mom. But getting in the chapel, and I think that's probably the largest amount of people I've ever performed for in my entire life. There was probably around 600 people in that auditorium. The auditorium is assembled like a gym. So you have people looking straight at you on the gym floor in chairs, and then you have bleachers that are actually chairs, and then there's above that are bleachers that are actually bleachers. So it's just like this massive like amount of people that like at first you don't realize how many people are actually in this thing until you look around. You're like, oh my goodness, there's so many people. But also shout out to Messiah, because they were just so on point. Like as soon as I got there, Antonio found me, and Antonio, we'll probably talk about him a lot. He's just amazing guy, and just so nice and caring, and helping me, kind of navigate this. And then getting to perform a Drake poem that I do was really fun. And for a poet, you're not always on a big, like, higher rise stage. Like, the stage was elevated, and then there's all these people. So it was definitely different. Like, poetry, sometimes you want to be, like, real close to people. You want to be, like, on the same level. So it was definitely different for me, but I think it was great, and I think it really set us up for the evening well, that the Messiah let us come in and kind of promote by just doing a poem and saying, hey, if you want to see that again, come tonight.
Yeah, it was a great idea on their part, especially doing something out of the box like poetry. It was like, hey, let's give them a taste of this in the morning. And I just kind of threw it out to the whole group. I was like, hey, who wants to do this morning thing? And you were like, I would love to do that because I'll go see my family the night before. So it kind of worked out perfectly, even from just a life rhythm.
Yeah, it was great. Like, because Messiah is maybe 20 minutes from where I live, but it's kind of like hometown in the sense that I grew up always knowing about Messiah, always understanding, friends asking, why didn't you go to Messiah? Things like that. Like, so I've always known about Messiah as a great Bible college, raced against Messiah in college. So it was like, it was cool, like in a sense of nostalgia feeling, being back on the campus, but now being there as a performer and getting to connect with students was really just a great opportunity.
So, the rest of us got there kind of different points throughout the afternoon. And I remember one of our favorite things is AVG's ability to like finesse his way into doing poetry, but also still honoring his job.
Yeah.
So shout out to you for that. You had like meetings set up on campus.
Absolutely. I mean, so part of doing this higher ed work, particularly learning assistance, you might be like the only one doing this sort of work on that campus, or one of like 2 or 3. So in the community, we really love when others are like, hey, let me come visit you. Let me see your center. Let's have some conversation. So it's pretty much a no-brainer to reach out. I don't know, maybe it was like May, June or something like that, to reach out and to the director of the center and say, hey, I'm going to be coming on your campus to do some performance, some poetry. Would love to kind of dovetail that into an opportunity to meet y'all, connect and stuff like that. So I've been doing that a little more recently now with some other things that I'm part of in the community. So it was pretty easy. I love being able to like work at a college and make poetry work with that too.
Yeah, and shout out to Haverford, because part of what they've like tasked you to do is go visit other universities.
That's it.
And to actually meet with these people, like you would be doing this separately anyway.
Yeah.
So then it's just like, where's AVG going to be? Can we do a college show that night?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like very funny how it's just kind of, it's fun to like see the ways God has the ability to like integrate life and pull it all together. So
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, this is all AVG's doing. One conversation with AVG turns into 60 emails. And,
Oh man.
you know, it happens. Let's get to the afternoon after that meeting. I think even during that meeting, me, Serge, Greg, and Jayla, we had a chance to hang out. Shout out to Misspoken Poet coming up from Baltimore. We got some schmoothies.
Shout out to the student union for blessing us with them smoothies.
Yeah.
Charles were good.
Yeah, shout out to Tony and the chapel team, because they just kind of were like, "Hey, here's the card.
yeah.
Like, run up a tab."
Yeah, just
And we were just
go.
like, "Are you sure?"
I know,
They're like,
I
"Yeah,
know.
whatever you want. You're our guest. Like, this is all on us. It's on the department."
Yeah, it was so
So
nice.
we just got these smoothies. They were amazing.
Kingdom hospitality.
Yeah, the
was
hospitality is 1B on this podcast. It's like Jesus, then hospitality.
Yeah.
Topics of conversation here on the podcast.
Thanks.
But yeah, we had a great time on campus. Shout out to Jayla in particular. Did like the video stuff. She was shooting content for us. That was something I asked her to do, and she's amazing at it. She's absolutely incredible at it.
100%.
So she recorded like kind of everything we were doing that day. And towards the evening, kind of getting up to the evening chapel time, one of the funny things that we started doing was asking students, like almost to kind of like hopefully change some people's minds to come to chapel.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know what to expect for the evening. The morning is always like super, super packed, like 500-600 students, like Greg said. Evening chapels can be like 100 students. It can be 200 students. It can be 25 students, depending on what it is. Like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
And so we were on campus, and we had a really funny experience. I don't know if either of you guys want to tell the podcast about it.
I can tell it, because it kind of happened to me a lot more than others, because I was being bold. Boldness sometimes doesn't get you where you think it does, folks. I'll tell you that. But no, we were walking down the path heading to the chapel, and I would just approach these students like just big smile, like trying to be non-invasive. Hey, like, well, invasive, but gently invasive. Hey, like, you guys coming to chapel? They're like, oh, some of them would even be like, oh, yeah, we saw you this morning. That was good. Are you coming to chapel? No, we won't be there. I'm like, oh, okay, just a couple people won't be there. That's fine. Hey, are you guys coming to chapel? No, we have soccer practice. I'm like, oh, okay. And then like, there's a couple others. I was like, you guys are definitely coming to chapel, right? And they're like, yeah, no, we won't be there. So at that point, I think a lot of us,
I think we were all
very discouraged. Very discouraged.
It was like 0 for 20.
It was like,
That's
okay, so we're going to do a small group poetry session with about 10 people, and then we're going to go home and cry about it. No, but no, even 10 is amazing. We were just kind of like, you know, you want some momentum leading into an event and feeling like, oh, people are coming, and it just feels good to know that they're coming, and we could do it for them and with them. And we didn't get that at first. We had to rely on faith. We didn't get to see what we would eventually get.
And I mean, high level, that's been the cool experience, like with Write Poetry, whether it's like 15 people in a space or, you know, a couple hundred. It's like a faithful with little, faithful with much, right? It doesn't matter like who's there. We're going to be, we're going to steward the opportunity well regardless. So
yeah, we're going to do our part no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, if it's 1 or 1,000, just know we bout it. Shout out to Rick Harmony. But yeah, like no matter what, we're going to do our part. And we all love small rooms anyway. Now, this was not a small room.
No.
So we were worried about, okay, if we only have a couple dozen people here, this is going to feel mad awkward.
Yeah.
But that's obviously not what happened. Messiah packed it out. Like there were a couple hundred students there, kids sitting along the wall.
That's it.
There were kids on the wall, kids on the floor, kids on the balcony. Like, I was like, what in the world is happening?
Yeah, I mean, it was packed, which was awesome. Let's get into that night, the actual set breakdown and kind of how we did things. Obviously, we talked about kind of planning the set and the way of doing that as an overlapping, but even just like certain pieces or whatnot. Because once the students got in there, like we basically. Like, once everybody quiets down, you just got to go.
That's it.
Because you only get 45 minutes total. And I was very concerned that we were going to, like, run up against that 45-minute mark.
Yeah.
Knowing how things tend to start late, knowing how we like to transition in between poems sometimes. I was like, you know, we're going to be right up against that because I think we're doing like 10, 11 poems. And I was concerned. We ended up finishing, I think, in like 38 minutes,
Exactly.
which we'll get to what we did with those last 7 minutes later. But let's just talk about the set itself. We got a couple hundred people in the room. Everybody's excited to be there, it seems, especially once we started getting into our actual performance. I think people were really impacted by it, and the responses were amazing. But what did we actually do?
So, yeah, I remember, Scott, that you did this sort of intro MC role, introduced everybody to all the poets, and then I went up and did organs. For those of y'all who don't know, organs is a sort of prayer poem. I didn't let anybody know that I was going to do a poem, so everybody thought I was praying. This is about 3 minutes. Some
so
kids'
good.
eyes closed, you know,
For 4
heads
minutes.
bowed.
Sorry for the students.
Some kids probably were like, wait, this is not a prayer, or is it?
I was telling AVG, I was like, man, like after the 5th line, you just need to say amen.
Yeah.
And then everybody will open their eyes again. Because like me and Greg were looking around during it, and there's so many kids like
They were cracking up because it's chapel. Like, what do you expect? Like, they're gonna do a prayer. They're probably used to people praying for
sure,
you know, long
4.5 minutes.
It's so funny. Wow, that's an aggressive prayer. My goodness.
Oh, it was so good though. It was so good. You killed organs, man.
That was great.
Thank you.
Outside of everybody having their eyes closed and head bowed as you performed it, they seriously did love it. It was a great poem. It's a great poem every time. It is especially fun to start with it.
Yeah.
Like I really, because we don't normally get to do that because we're a lot of times in like third space kind of rooms where like organs is something you might be doing towards the middle or even in the end of a set to close out a set. But in a Christian college place, like it was a perfect, like we get to lean into the content that they're used to in a chapel creatively.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Absolutely.
It's like you want, like, in differently than the other like rooms, like you want to start them off with something they know, like something familiar. So the more it feels like church, it feels like sermon, it feels like prayer, it connects to what they already are expecting.
That's it.
And then you hit them with something unexpected, and that's where they can begin to react and really get into it.
Most stuff.
yeah. And then after organs was what?
Yeah, Jayla had a poem called, I guess right now it's I Am a CH. So if y'all are familiar, I am a C, I am a CH. So that song, she did like a couple lines and then flipped the script on everybody and started the poem. Really, really great poem though. And you know, Jayla is always writes in such a way that she like gets right to the point and is just hitting you over and over and over again with a line and also with truth. It's beautiful.
Yeah, Jayla's like world class at what she does. And it is economy of time, economy of words. Like,
goodness.
it's just every single bar is a punch.
That's it.
Right at the gut. Like, you hear the like, woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's the common response to Jayla is like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Think about that one.
That's for me. You know?
They're getting hit.
Other people it might be like, oh, that was dope. Or, you know, that was clever or whatever. Hers is like, ooh, that's convicting.
Yeah.
That hurt me.
Yeah.
I need to change my whole life now.
Yeah. They're ready to go to the altar then. It's like, boom, hit me.
Oh man. I'm trying to remember where we went from there.
So then I came up
Okay.
and I did When I Meet Her. And somehow I knew When I Meet Her, but I didn't know the start of the poem. So I was just like, randomly, yeah. I think, let's say there's a moment before we started where, like, just thinking about how do you feel the poems? How do you make this as new for the crowd as it is for you? How do you make this something that's for you? And so I think in that I got a little stumbled and then had to catch up to myself to where I was going. And by about halfway, I had the crowd, and when we were rocking and we were going, and then it's always a great ending to that poem, and just really helpful to kind of get things back on track so we can pass it off to the next person.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm very proud of you for getting it back the way you did.
Yeah.
Redeemed it for sure.
Yeah, some people cannot do that. I mean, some people, when they make that mistake, then it becomes a loop
That's it.
of making the same mistake
That's it.
over and over and over again, to the point that then they have to pull out a phone. And sometimes I'm kind of like more of the philosophy, like, yo, you mess up, just pull out the phone now.
Yeah.
And get to the fix.
Yeah.
Because your ability, because that other way is so awkward, where you completely lose the performance moment. Or if you're like, dang, man, again?
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, like you put it out there to the room.
You broke the
I don't
fourth
even know
wall.
if people would understand that you messed up.
They
Like,
probably
in that
didn't
room.
know.
That's it.
They probably didn't know. You're right. I just kind of, I knew, y'all knew, and so
We
that's
knew.
where it was like, okay.
We're like, Greg, how? Greg, you have done this poem 100 times on stage.
Yeah.
We're at Messiah. We're doing the thing, and this is when you forget it?
Man,
It's funny, though.
God loves to pick certain moments to just humble you. You thought you knew that? You thought you knew what you were doing? You thought you could just play around? No. And I think, I'll say in some ways, that moment kind of set me up for the next poem I did. So I think God was very intentional about, this isn't you. You are not doing this right now. I am going to step in, and we're going to do this together.
Amen. I think from there it was maybe television, is my guess.
Most likely, yeah.
That makes sense, right? Because television is my poem that revolves around kind of my relationship with Darlene, and kind of the idea that, like, so When I Meet Her, Greg's poem is about like a relationship and, you know, meeting his wife, and mine is like, yo, my wife is my wife and nobody else can mess with that. And so it's using all TV bars. So the titles of television shows, I think there's probably a couple hundred in there or something like that. It's a little bit of a longer poem for sure, but it doesn't feel as long as it is what I've come to understand about that poem. And because it elicits so much crowd reaction at different points, it's like then you have to rerun certain parts of it, which makes it longer than the poem actually is. But that was like the first kind of real punchy wordplay piece that they heard in the set. And so whoever was going to do the first wordplay poem was probably going to have an advantage to get the crowd reaction. But I think it worked out well. Like, one, thematically coming off of When I Meet Her into television, clearly that's telling a same story. But then also to give them something different off of not to say heavier pieces, but deeper pieces up until that point, you know, to give them something more playful and like, whoa, what the heck? Yeah. I think it was really cool. And I think I just performed it well that night.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Like I just I felt very much in my bag.
Yeah.
Like this, I was made to do this.
You were strong, and they ate that poem up like it was Thanksgiving dinner. Like they just like loved it so much. Like you would have to stop because they would just keep going. Like they would just be so ruckus and so into it. And they're probably like, this is nothing like a chapel I've been to. Like this is awesome, you know?
Yes. And I mean, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but the value of us bringing something so unique and at such high quality. I mean, you know, gave Antonio like such high, a whole lot of credit to the students that he, you know, had been with at that point, what, like 8 months, 8 months?
Yeah.
So really, really, really awesome.
Yeah, he's like street cred went up after this chapel. It's kind of funny. It was great. And I love performing that poem. It's probably my favorite poem. I love that it honors my wife.
Yes.
And I just love what that means, kingdom in general, especially to a bunch of college kids who might be getting lost in the sauce in some ways, even on a Christian college, you know, even at a Christian campus. It's easy to fall into different things.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like kind of put some respect back on what this is really meant for. You know, that covenant, right? And so, I think it kind of calls out hookup culture a little bit, quite a bit. Tell some of the story and vulnerability of our own, you know, before meeting each other in our marriage and stuff. So it's a good poem, and it was a lot of fun to do. After me was Sergine.
Yeah, doing Furnish Her.
Another
really great piece. That one, I think in general, gets at how God ultimately wants to like work in us and through us. And sometimes there's some like internal changes that are going to be made. She kind of does this, sort of allegory thing that like if you think about yourself as like in an apartment room being furnished and things being changed and furniture being switched out, you know, blinds being open and all that sort of stuff. How is that a way that we can think about the way God wants to like renovate us as well? So piece that is near and dear to my heart personally. Sergine, you know, killed it as usual.
Always.
And I think it's a really important poem for her as well for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, I mean, her writing is brilliant. And her delivery, like, she's one of the few people that at a whisper commands a room.
Absolutely.
And she has boldness and fire in her voice at times too.
Yeah.
But her high to low range,
that's it.
In terms of volume and tone, it's like one of the widest. Like, I think if anybody else tried to do what she does, it would almost feel caricature.
For sure.
You know, it wouldn't feel authentic. But to her, it's so her.
Yes.
And these like very intimate moments tone wise pulls everybody in, but then she can also like call you out and yell at you a little bit.
Definitely.
You get all that in one piece.
It's really incredible. Like she was made to be a spoken word poet.
100%.
Sure.
She has the cadence, the flow, the feel. Like she walks in the room, you're like, that's a spoken word poet for sure.
We've had some conversations. I think at some point she definitely identified that as a very particular strength that she has, and she's been really like sharpening that ability that she has to be the whisper and also speak with a lot of boldness and power and like capture the room at all of those ranges. So shout out to her for really stepping into that.
Yep. Shout out to you, Serge. After her, I think we went probably back into Jayla, right?
Yeah. So she didn't necessarily have a title for this poem, but it begins with like, I used to think poetry was therapy. And the connection between Sergine and Jayla's poem, Sergine kind of like with more figurative language kind of gives us this idea that God wants to kind of like work in our lives and renovate us. And Jayla, again, with the, economy of words and the punches, just, if y'all didn't hear it with this previous poem, I'm going to make sure that y'all hear it now. Like, we can look at people and things that we do, and even, for some of us, different, substances and all that sort of stuff to try to, like, deal with the issues of our lives. But really, at the end of the day, it's Jesus that really works in us to make those changes and help us get healthy, get well.
Yeah. Finding that difference of, just thinking like you can just cope with the things of life without the Lord. Mm-hmm. It just leaves you empty. Mm-hmm. And she talks about that so well. Like, I thought I was doing therapy. I thought I was caring for myself by just writing these poems, but no, I need a bigger therapy. I need a bigger help. And that is only from the Lord.
That's it.
Yep. Who's after Jayla?
It was me.
Yes, it
dun,
was.
dun, dun.
Surprise.
Surprise, it's me. There's only 4 other options. But no, I did anxiety. And this poem, as soon as it started, I just felt good. Mm-hmm. I felt like this is not me just performing a poem that I performed a bunch of times the same way, in the same posture, just to get people to like it. This was me gripping with the words that I was saying personally to feel what I was feeling in that moment. I did a lot more like conversational style, as opposed to, like, sometimes in that poem I'll be more like pointed. Like, I'll be more like, hey, what about this? But instead I was being more, hey, what about this? Like, kind of conversational, getting people to reflect with me, getting people to think, but also having moments where I went up, went down. And it felt like it ministered to me.
That's it.
And if it ministered to me, I'm sure it'll minister to others. So that was it just felt good, and it felt raw, and it felt real, and it felt relatable. It didn't feel like I was trying to the poem was about anxiousness, but I wasn't conjuring up anxiousness. I was experiencing it and working through it in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I heard you perform that piece, I was on the floor. Because, like, the way that you embody this, like, anxiety or anxiousness every time you do it is beautiful. And I think, like, as a poet, for you to find that experience, or for you to find that story that you're just, like, really well connected to, like, that's where some of your best poetry comes out.
Yeah.
Like, for you, Scott, with television, like, this is my life experience.
Yep.
It's like it's so easy for me to embody it, right? And I think for you with like anxiety, and I agree with you, like, going a little bit more conversational in the way that you performed that night, just excellent, man. Just excellent.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was a 10 out of 10. It would have gotten you through to the finals in a slam. No, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was so. I just love that poem in the context of this broader set.
Yes.
One, coming off of relationship stuff into God needs to deal with me stuff, into therapy, no, not therapy, Jesus stuff. Then you're giving a picture. An embodied personification of what Jayla just did.
That's good.
And I was like, oh, this is crazy.
That's good.
Like, because we're not like, we didn't write these poems to make a play.
No.
We all wrote these poems in our closet, with a lamp, writing our poems, right? Like, we like to write. But then to put them together in this way, it's like, you would think that we designed this from the outset, that we wrote these poems to interlap
to do this
in these ways. And it's like, oh man, it's so fun to see it happen in real time, where he's like, oh yeah, like, those people are dope. And not to be dope, but just like the excellence component, like, we want to put that across individually, but I think that moment is such a picture of that's where the excellence collectively is shown the most.
Absolutely.
Where you are literally putting teeth to a message that was just shared moments before.
Yeah.
You killed it. You
Yeah.
killed it.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing is, like, just to give y'all a little background, like, sometimes poets have to perform poems that are hard to perform for them.
Yes.
And that poem nowadays is a harder poem to perform for me. Not the words, not the things. It's embodying that emotion can take a toll on me if I don't remember the end of that poem, that I have to look to the Lord, that I look to you, Lord, I find my footing, and giving people that hope led us right into our next piece. That Sergine killed, all about joy. And so it's like we see hope is on the horizon. Well, what does hope look like in practical form, in real, tangible? It looks like joy. It looks like living out of our joy. And when we don't, we're missing a whole aspect that God has called us to live in.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, so again, thinking about Jayla doing this piece around like Jesus being the true healer, right? And then Greg kind of embodies that experience of finding footing in God. And then what I thought was super powerful about Sergine's piece, she gets even more conversational, like pulls in a conversation she had with her mom, and that gets her to really think like, man, am I really experiencing joy in my life right now? And I think, you can do this sort of poetry that, is really awesome with the wordplay and the poetic devices, and then there are some poems where it's like the literal conversation you have through the different moments of transition are just as, if not more powerful than if you were to kind of like flip all of that into some kind of like figurative piece. And I think, I don't know, I commend Sergine a lot for kind of writing the piece that way, really getting into the literal, into the kind of raw moments.
Yeah. Yeah. And we saw this was actually a repeat, because we did Anxiety into Joy at Oracles, 2025, which we did an episode about back earlier in the season. I think actually 2 episodes, because it was so long we had to split it in half. Yeah. But in part 2 of that 2-parter episode, we talked a lot about each of your guys' performance at Oracles, where all of you guys did one poem.
Yeah.
And the Anxiety to Joy thing, and how it was like, oh my gosh, this is the message of Oracles is, yes, we are like broken in need of the Good Shepherd, but here's the Good Shepherd, right? Like that there is a story right here. That was like the crux of the movement of Oracles, was that moment. And then I remember during the planning process, we were like, Anxiety to Joy again. And we're like, and it really is an amazing thing, because even if you look at Messiah's chapel instructions, right? As a presenter, you have to sign this like code of conduct that this is what we're going to do. And you like read some of those things. It's like ending with redemption, right? Ending with hope, ending with the story coming to the culmination. And I was like, oh, we are definitely going to do that. And we got 3 poems to kind of do that with. And we figured out this way to do it, like from the heaviest moment of the night, the like, whew, I'm kind of rocked right now. I'm dealing with my own stuff right now. To then Sergine start our journey upward.
That's it.
In a new way. I thought I was just like, oh yeah, this is so good. Like I forget me being a part of it. If I just got to watch the set, I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are amazing at this.
Absolutely.
Like this is what they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Shout out to Sergine.
Definitely.
Who is next?
Surprise, it's me. Doing Bible's closing. That piece is me like personifying the Bible as if it was a defendant in a court case. The end of it is like the Bible's closing statement in American society versus the Word of God. That is not a poem that I can do just anywhere, and it felt really, really good to be able to do it during a chapel at that, even at a Bible college. The connection there for me is like we do a lot of conversation about like mental health and like, the Lord being able to kind of like redeem us. that piece is just a reminder of like, here are the ways that, you know, maybe we've like forgotten the power of the word.
Yeah.
The ways that we have, you know, we see this throughout Christian history, right? Like people who identify to be Christians kind of like miss the mark in really destructive ways, painful ways. But for those of us who profess to be true Christians, like, let's remember those, like, when we were kids, just how locked in we were with the faith, right? And sometimes life kind of like knocks us off our square, but we can always come back to Jesus, come back to the Lord, come back to the Word for that, the kind of like the support, the strength, the encouragement that we need. So that's that poem in a nutshell. Love to perform it. It's a crazy experience for the poet as well as the audience.
Dude, it is amazing. You did that one at Oracles as well.
Yeah.
So 3 of you guys did poems you did at Oracles within the set this year at Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces ever. And I think just context is everything. Like, yeah, is that a poem that you're going to like break out at a Voices in Power event or some other, you know, poetry experience in Philadelphia? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not though.
Mm-hmm.
But in that context where you're like talking to a bunch of like identify with Jesus people, it's just like, I'm gonna bowl down your lane and you are gonna feel all of this and you are probably gonna go back to your dorm room and read your Bible right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, that's a good outcome.
For sure.
Right?
100%.
Like, that's real impact that like, my love for the word is increasing because of this poem.
Yeah.
The conviction I have to spend time with God through it is at an all-time high for me.
That's it.
I mean, what else could you want out of a chapel presenter?
For sure.
You know, like I hope Messiah sees, it's probably not measurable, but an uptick in Bible engagement because of those 3 minutes in that poem.
That's it.
Absolutely. Which is powerful that you can have a 3-minute poem that leads to an immediate practical, okay, this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
And that also happens because of how well you do that piece. And just like, if you didn't come with excellence, I don't know if everybody's like, yeah, I'm gonna read my Bible. Like, it doesn't even feel like this guy reads his Bible, but it's like, you know, he's so passionate about this and brings it through. And even just I love the part where you're just like, it'll fall on itching ears. And it's like, we just feel that tension of like, yeah, we just want like, we just want the good stuff. We don't always want to dive into the word and see who Jesus really is. And because sometimes we don't live how he is, and we have to take that in ourselves. And it really hits the power of that piece with just the way you perform it, the way your hands expressions are, the way you can deliver well. Every time, right? Like, to deliver that poem well again and again and again, is just awesome.
Yeah.
Shout
out to you, AVG. We only had a couple of poems after that. I know we want to get to the impact before we wrap up today's episode, but I don't remember the order, if it was Jayla then me or me then Jayla.
It was you then Jayla.
So I did Rain, which is like a 2-minute charge.
Yeah.
It's like kind of punch you in the mouth. Stand up church and step into just biblical ideas and the gospel and letting God kind of rule and reign your own life, but then go out and engage missionally, which I think is just always a good way to like end a set. And then Jayla was after me with her final poem.
Yeah. Affirmation is kind of a, how do I word it? I think it draws on the same kind of theme of Rain, of like, I got to be out here and be missional and, be about my Father's business. But again, from a bit more of an embodied place, like, this is my transition to that sort of lifestyle. And yeah, that's the first time I heard Jayla do that piece. Consistently beautiful work. Her ability to...
She always does new pieces because she writes,
she
writes
so
50
much
poems a year.
Yo, if I had the speed of her pen...
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
She's great.
She's unbelievable. Yeah, shout out to Jayla. I think it just like ended very much in step with what Messiah's goals were.
Exactly.
And I felt very proud of us in that moment. Now, what I was surprised by was, I don't know if we started at 7:00 p.m. or whatever, but we had to be done by 7:45. I looked at the clock and it was 7:38.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
We really ahead.
That's it.
And with that, we probably could have done a myriad of beautiful things. We could have taken time for questions.
Mm-hmm.
We could have done so many things. And instead of those things, Greg decided we're going to do an Oracle's level altar call.
Yeah.
In a chapel service with a bunch of kids who are just trying to scan their IDs to get a chapel credit. He was like, if you've been impacted, come meet Jesus right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was just like, here we are. Now, the funny thing is, the sound guy, shout out to him, he could not figure out how to get the sound to work.
Yeah.
So we had no music, like we were just going to throw on a Mav song or
so awkward.
Somebody's worship album or something, right? And just like have music playing to kind of give space. Mm-hmm. It's just dead silent. You want to come forward? Come up. And it was beautiful because God did what God does.
Oh, yeah.
Where students actually did respond.
That's it.
Some students were like, I'm trying to get out of here 8 minutes early, for sure. Mm-hmm. But some students, like, it was for them.
That's it.
And just so happened that Joy Ike, dear friend, talked about her on this podcast before. She kind of lives within the region of Messiah currently. Okay. And she was like, hey, I see you guys are going to Messiah. Can I come? And I'd said yes, because I asked Tony. And Antonio was like, yeah, absolutely, she can come. So she was there just to support us.
Yep.
Joy happens to be an amazing singer.
Oh, yeah.
And worship leader. So I just handed her my microphone. And she just started singing, Jesus be the center of my life.
Exactly.
And it was really, 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 like, it was just a beautiful thing where I was like, this is the kingdom.
Absolutely.
God knew we weren't going to have no sound, no music. So he gave us Joy Ike.
That's it.
Which is far better than anything we could have clicked on Spotify anyway.
That's it.
But that also, I think, encouraged the spirit of the moment. Some people started singing along with her too.
Yes.
That knew the song, and it was really cool. Mm-hmm. I know on mine, I was running around trying to like get the sound to work.
Exactly.
So I wasn't like up at the front having like an altar call moment.
Yes.
Because I was like panicked that like we just fumbled the bag with this.
Yeah.
But how was that for you guys? Experiencing that, praying for people, seeing people come up. What was that like for you?
Absolutely. I was up there for a little minute, and then one guy came up, Garrett. Shout out to you if you hear this podcast episode. Just came up and was like, I'm just feeling a lot of uncertainty, right? Just starting as a first year, the word looking the way it is. I'm not really sure like how God wants me to move through this next, 3.5 years into like post college, right? Like, what is that supposed to look like for me? So, being a person who like works in higher ed, seeing this kind of en masse on campus, it was just a very, very visceral. Like I could feel that sort of like uncertainty and like anxiety in my own body, but being able to like pray for him and pray over him. And, as somebody who like ministers on behalf of others in that way, there's a sort of like blessing in that for you, right? Like even, certain point in my life, sort of got a career, but there's stuff going on in my life where I don't even know what's supposed to be happening next. And so be able to pray for somebody to like feel a sense of peace and hope, sort of like encourages you in a similar way. So that's my personal experience with that moment.
Yeah, as the culprit of all of this, I use that word intentionally. No, I am definitely like on the Ephesians 4 scale, more on the like evangelist, like, so what are we going to do now? Like, how are we going to engage people with the gospel? Not just the gospel, but also like with them engaging God now. Because there are many people in that room who are probably believers, but what does their faith really look like? And I know my college experience and needing someone to kind of step into my life and say, are you really taking this seriously? And what does that look like? And so, it was real awkward at first. Like, there's no music. not everybody's coming up, but I don't know. I'm a young adult director, so I'm used to the awkwardness. I'm used to just things like people not doing stuff, and I'm like, well, like so I was just kind of like, okay, Lord, like, what do you want to do? And then watching people at their seats, like, because I mentioned, hey, like, you can also pray at your seat. Like, we definitely encourage that, like, to just meet with God where you are. And just watching several people just kind of experience the Lord and coming over and talking to some guys and just kind of like whispering to them like, hey, like, really thankful y'all came, and seeing how connected they were. And they were like, thank you so much. Like, this was amazing. Like, this was nothing like we've experienced before. And just, but really like going back to my own area, like in the chapel, and just praying for them. That God would meet them beyond just, oh, this was good poetry, but look what God is doing. And I think I was shocked at just how many people were like responding in that moment, and just like, okay, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a little awkward, could have been better for sure. But I think God really used it, and he's always down to use what we give him, right? We gave him our loaves and our fish, and he just multiplied in people's lives.
We gave him 7 minutes.
And that's all here is what we got. And those 7 minutes turned into, conversations after. I'm hoping it turns into people taking their faith more seriously. Yeah. And hopefully we, Antonio can let us know, hey, like, we just, it might be hard to like, no, it was us, or we were just even a little part of it, but that Messiah students are growing in their faith and acknowledging the Lord and being on mission for Jesus. And that's just our hope.
Yeah. It was super impactful. It was beautiful to watch, even in the panic of the moment, because I was thinking they were stressing to me from the very beginning of those 60 emails. You have to be out in 45 minutes. You have to be out at 7:45. We were not. We tried our best, but students were not out of there because they wanted to talk. Students were not out of there because they were in tears, getting prayer from friends. Students were not out of there because they were like in a deep conversation, embraced in a hug with somebody, like pouring into them. And it was like, oh, this is ultimately, I know that the chapel people would be very excited that this outcome is happening, but there was another event in there in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of hustling through that. But yeah, I think the impact of it was clear as day. And we haven't necessarily seen the fruit of us coming back yet, to go back to Messiah in the future. But I imagine that those calls will come, even for other groups within Ripe. Even to try to get the hip hop artists out for a concert some night, or the singers out to do a cafe performance, or Ripe Worship, even, the original plan eventually. But I would be surprised if they don't want to have Ripe Poetry back. After what happened in that room. So shout out to Sergine, Jayla, AVG, Greg, myself. It was just an awesome space to be a part of. And I would just say, I know we got to go. It's been a longer episode already, but I would just say the impact of this beyond just the students, to me, is on us as a community. Like, we've had so many stories as a Ripe Poetry team to date of, gigs that we've gotten to do together, events that we've gotten to go to together, that has turned into as large as Pass the Mic Tour, the Texas Strip, Oracles. Oracle's coming back. And there's a big part of me that's like, without things like this, the bigger stuff like Oracles doesn't happen. Because this is where the DNA gets knit together. This is where we really learn each other's hearts, where we understand each other's not just content, but like what's going on, how to care for one another. Like the organic, what makes ministry powerful in that room is what happens off stage.
Definitely.
And I don't know, I'm very grateful to have a community of friends to do ministry with.
That's it.
So much of my life is in leadership around Ripe creative stuff, but being a Ripe poet, when called upon at times, is like, it keeps my heart to the ground, of like what this is really all for.
For sure.
Like this is what this is about.
Yeah.
Like trying to build a ministry and raise support and have a board and do donor dinners one day, you know, and like all these other infrastructure level things. That's my main responsibility now at this stage of my life, is to try to build this thing. But I never want to forget what it's all for.
That's good.
And Messiah, October 7th, was definitely like his community,
Yes, sir.
his friendship,
Yep.
his impact,
Yeah.
his God moving through us, laying our gifts down at the altar. Like everything that Ripeism is meant to be at its best, I think October 7th was that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so refreshing to just be in the room with you, Scott, you, AVG, Sergine, Jayla.
Yeah.
When we get Jake,
Yeah.
you know, like in the room, like many of us do a lot of stuff outside of poetry. From working in ministries to working long jobs to, you know, working in colleges and running organizations and like, but the Lord is good because he gives us this space where we can just be refreshed by one another
Yeah.
and use our gifts, yes, but also just get to laugh and,
Absolutely.
you know, eat steaks together and drink smoothies and talk and laugh and just like say silly things and be people. Like, cause a lot of us are in roles and positions and this and that, but like, or we, you know, are poets that people look up to, and it's like, but we get to be people.
That's it.
You know, and that's thanks for that. Thanks for letting us be people.
Oh, I definitely feel the same way. I mean, I've shared this multiple times on this podcast, but like October 2021, being able to find like, you know, you, Greg, and Scott, and be like connected to Ripe Creatives in that way. I mean, where would I be without y'all, you know, 4 years later? I have no idea.
Amen. Yeah, I would say one last thing and then we'll wrap. When we were at Texas Roadhouse after, this was like the highlight of, it was not the highlight. It was Jesus like redeeming and saving people's lives was definitely the highlight.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite moments, I will never forget this, was we're at Texas Roadhouse. I don't know why we picked Texas Roadhouse. I think it's because it was open late.
Yeah.
It's like one of the few places where the kitchen's open late in central Pennsylvania. So we go there and we sit down and we order all this food. And AVG kind of like, it's almost like a tapping of the glass toast, you know? It wasn't really that, but he just kind of was like, hey, what you just said.
Exactly.
Like, this community's meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like very raw, emotional. Like, it was like really sweet. And what did she say? What did Sergine say?
She said, like, y'all are all right.
Yeah, she hit with our sarcastic comment as usual.
Which we all do this. Like, it's not just Sergine
We're
being a
always
troll.
like-
We troll each other all the time.
Around.
So she's like, yeah, you guys are all right, I guess. And AVG was like, can you just stop? And the whole table just, like, it was like a whoa. And then we all just started dying laughing.
Oh, man.
And she was like, I feel reprimanded. Like, it was so funny because so much of our existence is so much joy and laughter and goofing off and trolling. And you were just like, no, for once, can we have a serious
Can we be
moment?
serious? Can we stop trolling?
And it was even in that serious moment, like it was so much laughter and joy because of that.
Absolutely.
But it was like, I'm glad you did it too.
Yeah.
Like, and if it had been one of us, I hope you would have said the exact same thing to one of us, not just to Sergine, right?
Yeah.
But it was because it was like, yes, this is funny and let's all laugh, but also hear the message again.
That's it.
That this matters.
Yeah.
This is really, really special.
Yes.
And, you know, we have not had necessarily the doors open to us that other poetry movements throughout the years have had, right? Or the infrastructure behind us. But it doesn't make what we do any less impactful.
No.
I think that's where I've kind of come to realize is like, when we get to do this, it's really good.
Yes.
Now, is that what we're going to do together full time all the time? I doubt it.
Yeah.
As I don't necessarily know if that world exists anymore, you know? But like, when we get when Messiah calls, we're going.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
When Eastern calls, we're going.
Absolutely.
When Penn State calls, we're going to figure it out. We're going to go.
That's it.
Right? Like, when we get calls to go places, we want to do whatever's in our power to make sure that we go do it and steward it. Because this is so stinking important,
Yeah.
especially with the next generation. So, yeah, thank you guys for being a part of it. Thank you for saying yes. And I'm excited to see what the partnership with Messiah becomes.
Yeah.
I don't say this to send them this episode just so that they do something with it, but that's my heart. That's my hope is like, I'm trying to build partnerships for Ripe Creatives.
Yeah.
That's like, we can count on getting our folks into space X, Y, or Z with these partners that are strategic.
Yeah.
You know, cyclically, like year over year, multiple times a year, a couple times a year, whatever it is. I think that's like a best case scenario for the Ministry of Ripe Creatives in these days, is having consistent, ongoing opportunities that we can build off of. So that's my hope as well.
That's good. That's good. Thank you, sir, for everything that you do, how you set us up, how you lead, facilitate, all those sorts of things. Yeah, I mean, where would we be without each other, you know?
Where would we be without each other? That's it. Thank you, Lord, for Messiah, October 7th, 2025.
Amen, amen. Listen, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you were here and you partner with us, just know part of your partnership is what creates these things and makes these things possible. So thank you for giving to support what we do. If you're here, you don't support what we do, please, please, please consider jumping on our website, ripecreatives.com, and becoming a partner. Monthly, annually, whatever frequency level you can do that at goes a long way. And helps us produce, you know, more episodes here on the podcast, but more importantly, actually go do the things that the episodes are about. And so, yeah, we would love your support in that way. If you're able to do that with a tax-deductible gift, that would mean a lot to us. Until then, until next time, stay right.
Boy, that's it. Yeah, I'm done with the games. I thought this was
You can learn more about Ripe Creatives and support our ministry by visiting our website, ripecreatives.com. To never miss a future episode, you can join our community text line by texting Time is Ripe to 215-273-3540. Time is Ripe is produced, recorded, edited, and released by Top Mop Productions. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
living my purpose. Know that I'm the best to do it when I'm living the service. Once you see light, you understand that sin is whack. Be aware, wolves plotting on the next attack. Armor of God, give me the word. I'm always strapped. My brother's able, never question if I got his back.